world. The weather outside is not that cold, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
Hello and welcome to Country with Celine. I am your host, Celine Chimarki, and on today's episode, we have the lovely Lyssa Coulter.
Sometimes I wanna be alone, sometimes I'm better on my own. Hearing the noise from the downtown street, watching the boys from the balcony. Sometimes I like it by myself, sometimes I don't need no one else. Sip on some rag and turn my music up, making a mess like I don't give up. But tonight I wish this bottle of wine had two glasses. Wish I had somebody to dance with and somebody to say goodnight to. Yeah, I'm okay being alone, but to tell you the truth, I'd rather be alone with you.
Lyssa, how are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good, thanks for asking. Okay, so before we dive into your latest single, I'm going to take it back a bit. So back in February, you released Alone With You, and it charted on the iTunes US and the UK country chart. So first of all, I want to say congratulations for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And now, quickly, was this the first time a song of yours has ever gained that much exposure?
Yeah. It was the first time it had really kind of lifted off and my music had really popped off a little bit.
How did it feel?
It was really overwhelming. It was fun. The day that I released the single, I was actually on the road, so it was a lot of like stopping at gas stations more than I normally would, just to like check what's going on and stuff like that. But it was a really cool day. It was incredible just to see like how it charted and the playlist it was getting on, and it was just an honor to be able to release the song.
That's crazy. Yeah, you need that Wi-Fi. That's why you were stopping off the gas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh my gosh. And now, okay, so your latest single, I Don't Want to Know. Now, I just watched the music video for that, and the way that you were singing the song, it looked really emotional. And so from a viewer's perspective, it seemed like there's a story behind that, especially with you. Like, is there a personal story there, or at least something that happened to someone that you know?
Yeah, so the song was actually written by my friend Molly May, and I had texted her something that I was personally going through, and I was like, what if we wrote it as if like we were pissed at the female and like do that perspective that's super like petty. And I was like, I just want to make like a sassy and fun song, like kind of like a Raylan type vibe.
Yeah.
And what she did was she pulled from a different side of the emotion from a situation that she had recently gone through with her ex and pulled from that. And when she sent it back, I was like, wow, these are emotions that I just like really wasn't expecting to feel and kind of like essentially shoved down. Because I just didn't want to face that. So that's kind of how the song came to be what it was.
So I don't wanna know what you're doing when you do it with her. I don't wanna know when I can see myself a little hurt. I don't wanna know memories are deceiving, getting caught up in a feeling that was only ever home. And I don't wanna know.
Well, the storyline of that song, it's really relatable. A lot of people can relate to it, especially that music video. That's how a lot of people feel, okay, especially towards the girls sometimes. As sassy as it sounds, it's the truth. But yeah, it was awesome though. I really enjoyed the song, and I can't wait to hear new music from you.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool just being able to like put that much emotion behind something. I hadn't done a project like that yet, so it was really cool.
I think you should look into acting now.
Thank you. I was really nervous. I was like, holy crap, I've never acted in my life. My videographer, Justin, was like, you killed that. And I was like, sure, okay, great, thanks.
You did kill it. Trust me, Lyssa, you did kill it. So let's get to know you a little bit more. Where did you grow up?
I grew up originally in kind of like the Worcester, Massachusetts area. So I'm originally from the Boston area.
Oh, okay, that's neat. And then you made the travel down to Nashville when?
About 2.5 years ago.
And how are you enjoying it?
I love it. I feel like, I mean, as much as I love New England, I don't think I've ever really felt at home. I think there's a lot of trauma that I've left back there that hasn't really settled with me in the way that it should have yet. And just things that I'm personally working out. So when I moved to Tennessee, it was a really brand new start for me, and it really feels like home here.
Well, it's nice for a brand new start, like you were saying. And especially when you make that leap from one place to another place where you don't know anyone really, you really grow as a person, you mature as a person, and you really start to look back on everything that had happened to you like in the past, and you just grow from it and you learn and you just move forward and you can accept it, forgive, and so on and so forth. So it's really a fresh start. It really is.
It really is, and it's just kind of crazy, like, to think that it is a fresh start, because I think sometimes in life we don't think we'll get one of those, and this industry has literally, like, been, like, it's, like, almost as if I was born at the age of 18, and, like, now life has started type thing, so it's interesting. It's very cool.
So what ultimately drew you to want to pursue a career in country music?
So I had grown up with my dad playing music all of my life. He never really like pushed to get me into it. My mom was really into us like doing sports because she wanted like my sister and I to just be healthy and active. And I tried every sport in the book. I tried ice skating, I tried karate, I tried basketball, soccer, dance, gymnastics, like everything in the book. Cross country, hated cross country, could not do that for the life of me. I'm not a runner. I'm not a runner. Like, no, I ran one race that whole season. Essentially, like, when I graduated, we moved to Westboro. I'm originally from Medway, but we moved to Westboro, which is more towards Worcester, Central Mass. And I was introduced to a vocal coach. I had to find a new one because it was 45 minutes away from my old town, my old vocal coach. So I had to find a new one. And the vocal coach I had found was also specializing in artist development. And not, not the label artist development, but the new artist development that the industry has created. And she not only helped me improve on my voice, but then kind of slowly showed me how to create a business and how to essentially book myself for gigs. And from there, when I found out that I like had that ability, the ability that I didn't know I had, however many years ago, that's when it kind of took off. Like, I knew that I wanted to sing like as a career for all of my life. I told like people in school, like, yeah, like I'm going to be a singer when I grow up. And they were like, you're literally crazy. Like, you're psychotic. You're a weirdo. Like, I've got every name in the book. But then like, it kind of just manifested itself, I guess, since the age of 3, just like slowly like started happening. And then 18 comes along and the opportunity was presented to me to start performing. And the second I had that like idea of like going down to Nashville, which I got like during a vacation, after hearing a story about a friend's friend that did that, I was like, wait, that's a thing. And then I just started reaching out to everyone in like the local music scene in New England, and they were all so like helpful and just like so just open to accepting new artists and things like that. So that really helped me a lot too. But that's essentially how I got my start.
Well, that's awesome. Singing, I feel like that really is when a kid says they want to be a singer in like high school or middle school, whatever the case may be, it's always shot down by like other people. I don't know why, especially for the arts, like dancing, singing, like if you want to be an artist, it always gets shut down like right away. It's really crazy how that is.
It's so crazy, but I think it's because like we're not taught enough that we can do that. Like, we're taught like, oh, be a police officer, teacher, doctor, scientist. Like, we're not taught like there's this like arts side, or even like sports. Like, schools really push sports. Like, you can be a Division I college player and then go into the NFL, like whatever the case may be. But like, they don't normally like push being a like modern singer, like a contemporary singer. They'll push like classical like music, musical theater, all that, but like you never hear about like the music industry within like the contemporary modern stuff. So it's very interesting just to like kind of jump into that. You have like a really good point.
Yeah, thanks girl. Yeah, no, but it's so true. It's just the typical routine professions that like schools teach you, and I honestly feel like schools have to stop pushing that. Like, I'm 23. I'm out of school. I did my time in high school and middle school and all that, but it's not changing. Schools aren't necessarily evolving and like actually pushing kids to do something out of the ordinary, like singing or like a sport. It's always, I feel like they just kind of like, even in my high school, like when you would talk to the guidance counselor, oh, what do you want to be? Oh, I want to be this. No. Think more in the box.
Yes.
You can't. Yes. It's like, no, honestly, you can be anything you want to be. Anything.
And
right?
I think it's so, oh my gosh, I love that you bring this up. It's literally so important. I think that so many people go through life and with like in a 9-to-5 job and think that they have, like, at 30 years old, they think that they have to stay in that because, oh, that's just what I was taught. It's like 30 years old, like, and I love Gary Vee. I watch Gary Vee religiously, and Gary Vee has, like, yes, he brings up, like, the best point. Like, you're just starting your life at 30 years old. Like, 34, you are just starting. Like, and he's so right. Like, people are living to, like, 80, 90, 100 now. Like, you are just starting your life. Yeah. Like, at 30 years old, I have a friend who's a guitarist, and he's like, I feel like I just need to give in. I'm like, why? You're only 34 years old. Like, get it together and get out there. You have just started.
It's literally, I'm so excited. We're like on the same page right now with all of this.
I love it.
When you're 20 years old, like, you feel old, essentially. Like, after you graduate high school, it's like, oh shoot, now I gotta get into the work field. I gotta work, I gotta make money, gotta do this, gotta do that. And like, you don't actually like live your life. You're kind of just glued into, oh shoot, I have to do this. And then when you're 25, you're like, oh, I'm so old. If I don't have it all together, like, I'm such a bum. And then like by 30, if you don't have everything together, it's even worse. And then you're even harder on yourself. But it's like, man, you're 30 years old. Like, you literally have the rest of your life to go. Like, there's 40, that's another 10 years, 50, 20 years, 60, 30. It's like, you literally can do anything if you have enough passion to do something and you just give all your might into something, you can manifest that into whatever you want to do. And it's so true. No matter if you're 30, 40, 45, whatever the case is, it can happen.
Exactly. And I think the big thing is like society and like the people that we grow up with and around us. And unfortunately, sometimes it is our parents because that's what they were taught in the traditional, like in the traditions of that, is that, you know, oh, you just have to make money. And it's like, I cannot tell you how happy, like, just to get a little more personal, I was pretty broke up until recently. Like, my first 2 years in Nashville, I was like just barely getting by. Like, broke off my butt, like really like not doing well financially, like almost had to start. There were instances where I had to pay my parents back for rent, like at some points, like here and there, and bills and stuff like that, and which I was able to do. But like, I was happier than I think I would have ever been with a lot of money back home. I don't like that. Like, I really think it was worth that struggle and like pushing out. Like, it was the part that really stuck in my brain was, you're outliving your dream, not you're broke. You know, I did what I had to do to get by. And I think that people get scared about the concept of, you know, having to do what you have to do to get by until you get to like that place of like where you can be stable. But I think that's a really important part of life to live. So it's just really interesting, all of it.
Exactly. Like, the normal 9 to 5, you stay comfortable, you're making enough money, you don't really want to kind of leap out and actually do something other than the norm, where it's that, like I said, 9 to 5, you're making money. But if you like something like you want to be in the country music scene, I'm pretty sure everyone kind of knows, like, when you start out in the music industry, it's kind of just like you're singing here and there, and you're still not making that, but you're trying and you're working. But that's all that really matters. If you really want to do something, like I was saying before, and like you were saying, it will happen. You just gotta take all the hard times right now, and the good will come eventually. And like you just said, now it is for you.
Exactly. And it's kind of funny because I thought I was going to be, my brain kind of got into this thing of like, oh, you're going to be stuck like this for 5 years. And then I started changing my mindset and the way that I trained my mind, and my parents had trained my mind. Obviously your 20s is about like unraveling that and training your mind to think what you want to think. And so what I like did was like, I channeled that and was like, okay, like, we're having a really hard time with stuff right now. Maybe we have to unravel and untrain and retrain my brain to have these more like positive mindsets. It's like, no, I can have the money right now. Who says I can't? Like, there's no one in the world that says I can't have that. Someone's not there going, Lyssa can't have this. That's a law. Like, no, like, you have to like kind of make it for yourself. So I think it's a lot of like, as a, you know, in whatever age you are, kind of creating your own patterns and your own thoughts and things like that.
And now, how old are you, Lyssa?
23.
97?
Yeah.
Oh, okay then. We're the same age. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? It's so nice to hear like other 23-year-olds or like 20-year-olds that have the same mindset, because like some people just get stuck into like that old school mindset. They don't actually like think about, no, like, you can make your life into whatever you want it to be. You just got to take the hard times, and eventually the good will come, and you manifest, because that's what we all started to do nowadays, is the manifesting. And it really works. It really does.
It does. And I think, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I think like TikTok had a lot to do with that. Like that's how I first started about learning things. Like when COVID and everything shut down, like all of a sudden all this stuff came out about like manifesting and spirituality. And it was like, what are you talking about? And like all of a sudden, like, I'm like, let's go, like, let's do this. Like we can make our life anything we want to. And like, I know a lot of bad came out of COVID, but a lot of good also came out of COVID. And I think like having just that connection with people is one of them. I don't think I've met so many people in my life that have been closer to my age that have the same mindset that you and I have. Like I never thought I'd meet people my age that did, because of just the way that like kind of the world is going. It's in a very interesting place. So it's really cool just to see a lot more people like our age being able to start like training their mindset that way.
Exactly. Yeah, and not 20, COVID, it really did. Like if you look at it, you take a step back and look at like the bigger picture. Yeah, it did bring a lot of bad, but there's good in every bad. Like as like cliche as it sounds, it's really true. And COVID did bring a lot of good, like especially to all of us. Like we got to actually self-reflect on ourselves and change our mindsets, like you were saying, because TikTok, there's so many videos on manifesting, on like turning to God, on like literally anything you can think of was literally in the palm of your hand on your phone on TikTok. That's the beauty of social media nowadays too.
It is. It definitely is. I think there's definitely, it's hard with social media, like nowadays, with figuring out like, you know, as from an artist perspective, like algorithm and oh my gosh, like comparing yourself to XYZ. But what I have gotten in the practice of doing is making sure that my TikTok, which is what I end up accidentally spending the most time on, making sure that it's channeled to all those positive things. Like I literally programmed my algorithm and sent myself would send myself all these videos, and I clicked on the video so they'd open on my page, and I was reconstructing my algorithm so that it was only positive things and like only Disney things, only positive things, like manifesting, like all that. So like I think that's a really cool part about social media, is like we do have that ability to take control of like what we want to see in our life.
I completely forgot that that's how we can do it. What's it? Algorithm? Did I say it correctly?
Algorithm, yeah. So basically, algorithm is just I'm a social media guru. I have an artist development company, and part of that is social media management. I love social media, but essentially, like what the algorithm does is the algorithm sets basically what you're most interested to. So like algorithm is basically like for example, just this example that we brought up. So like say Disney, right? Like you really love Disney and you just go check out a Disney thing pops up on your TikTok feed. You click it's a Disney account and you see all Disney stuff and you go through it. The algorithm is going to read that you are like staying onto that video into that account. So it's going to bring more Disney to your page.
I did not know that. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense though, because I look at a lot of clothing and like now I keep seeing like all these like outfits on my page. I'm like, oh, it makes sense.
Yes, exactly. It's the same thing with Facebook and Instagram too. It's essentially like what it does. It's basically whatever page or post you stay on the longest because it wants you to stay on the app as long as possible. That is what it's going to continue to show you.
Very smart. The tech whizzes are so smart behind the screens.
Yeah, AI is like the system behind it. It's very smart.
And now, okay, Lyssa, before I get back off topic here, who would you say were your influences growing up?
I think some of my bigger influences, probably like on a I really like to talk personally. I think I want to talk about the artists that I love, but personal influences for me are really important because those are the people who have directly influenced my life and my music, my dad being a big one because he is in the music industry. He plays guitar and he was a manager for a few years back in Boston for a few bands. My friend Molly, who I met when I first started in the industry, she's a really big influence towards my songwriting. Let's see who else. I don't know. There are a bunch of people who have really influenced me just on a personal level. My friend Lexi has really influenced me too. Her and I, we became friends 4 years ago, and both of us have seen how much each other has grown. And I think just as a human, she influences me, and as an artist, she pushes me to be the best that I can be. Because I see that she looks up to me, and I'm like, well, I want to be a good influence for that, and be able to help her reach her dreams, so she know that she can do it. So I think that's like another big thing. But as far as artists, I think Taylor Swift has been a big influence for me. She was kind of the reason that I was okay with saying like, yeah, I'm gonna be a singer when I grow up. I saw her Fearless tour, and that was kind of that was it for me. I was like, I'm going to do this. So her songwriting, her marketing ability, like all of that influences me strongly. Laura McKenna is another big one. She's an incredible songwriter. And I think just being from Boston is really inspiring in that sense. So, and then my favorite band is the Goo Goo Dolls. So I take a lot of my inspiration from alternative rock. So Goo Goo Dolls, Creed, bands like that, they really inspire me too.
I feel like that, like what you just said there, especially in the beginning when you were saying about your dad, that should be a CMA speech. That should be your speech when you accept an award. Because the way you just worded that all, I was like, I feel like I'm watching her like accept an award.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Everyone's so funny. They're like, you sound like you're just giving a TED Talk or a speech. And I'm just like, I don't know how I do that. I just get in like this mode, this like really passionate like area. And I'm like, let's just go.
You could be a motivational speaker then. You have the voice for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And now also, I was reading up on your bio. You had the chance to perform as an opening act for Rascal Flatts, Lanco, and Uncle Kracker. I'm sorry, that name always cracks me up. But what did you learn from like that whole experience of seeing like artists, especially like Rascal Flatts, at that high caliber artist, like it's Rascal Flatts, I don't know how else to put it, like watching them perform and like taking notes, like what did you gain from that experience?
So all of those experiences happened about 2.5 years into my career, which is like a very like, I'm learning now it's a very rare thing to happen for artists that early on. I've only been in the industry for 4 years. And what I learned is that I was not ready at the time yet. I think that was the biggest lesson I learned, is that I wasn't ready for that. And I think the experiences were the coolest things ever. Like, I feel literally like the luckiest human alive. I don't even know what I did to deserve those experiences. But I think the biggest thing that I learned was that I had a lot of work to do. These are people that inspired me and I looked up to, and those are people that I want to make proud, and I want to make, I want to grab their attention and potentially work with these people. I want them to be my coworkers and people that I write with and colleagues. And so I think the big thing was just learning I had a lot to learn about this industry, and about performing and about stage presence and all of that. The opportunities again were amazing, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. But I think as early on as they were, I definitely had a lot to learn, but they were really, really cool experiences.
Well, that's fair. 21 and you're new to the industry, like you kind of just started, like you obviously do have a lot to learn, but this is your learning years. 20 years old is your learning years, and like the more experience you take on, you get to learn from that. And maybe one day, you'll be writing with Rascal Flatts. You never know.
Yeah, seriously, you never know. It's really crazy. I never thought I'd even be in Nashville, so you really never know what could happen.
Exactly. So who would you say would be your dream collaboration?
Either me and Taylor Swift or me and Johnny Resnick and the Goo Goo Dolls, I think would be probably dream collaborations. I just love them. They just, the music, like especially the Goo Goo Dolls, like the way that they write, like the song name that they have, like just the whole song is like a metaphor itself. And I'm just like, holy crap, like this is literally incredible. So I think either one of those artists.
The only song that I know from the Goo Goo Dolls is probably the most basic one out there that like everyone knows, and it's called Iris.
I love Iris. Iris is a really good song.
It is. It's really good. But even like that song, they had me hooked. I'm like, I should really like listen to more of their music because they're really alternative rock is like really good. Like really good.
It's very deep.
Yeah.
It's very, very deep.
Yeah. And even, what's her name? Olivia Rodriguez. I think that's her name. She just released that song, Good For You. And like, it's so funny. Like all these kids are like freaking out. Oh my God, I've never heard it. Like, no. Paramore. What's Paramore? I said her name right? She did that. Like, she was like, back then, and when she would do it when we were younger, like, we're like, it's coming back to like that music. And like, I'm really enjoying it. It's pretty good.
Me too. I'm like, bring it back. That was my childhood.
Yeah, legit. Okay, and one more thing. So I was on your website, and I also read that you launched an artist development company called Cloud9 Development at the end of 2018 to guide artists in an evolving industry, especially nowadays. Everything is evolving, especially in the music industry, which contributes to indie music community. So what was it that really sparked your passion to start that?
I actually was asked by a colleague if I wanted to start it with them. And at the time I was like, I mean, yeah, like can we sit down and have like a few meetings and like see what the plan is, and like just wanted to like hear his ideas and stuff, because I was like, I'm 21 years old. I've only been in this for like a little while, or 20 years old. I've only been in this for a little while. Like, he was referred by like 3 or 4 other artists to me, which was great. I guess I had made an impact. So it was really cool. And we sat down, and about 3 or 4, or maybe it was like a month or 2 after launch, he messaged me. He was like, I'm just having a lot going on in my personal life. You know, you can take over Cloud9 if you want, or you can just kind of stop. And I was like, I don't really know what to do with this. And I had a long conversation with my dad and another colleague, and was just like, what do you recommend? And they were like, well, maybe like keep with it and make it what you want to make it. And so essentially what I made it was something that was literally by artists for artists. Like, I think in this industry we spend so much freaking money, and as much as like I really respect the managers and the booking agents and the promoters and talent buyers, as much as I really, really respect them, they also don't know what I'm going through as an artist, because they've never been an artist. And I think that's the most important part of this journey, is that it takes a big toll on your mental health, and not everyone in this industry understands what that means. So my key was providing a safe coaching spot with constructive feedback for artists that was affordable. And I kind of just rode with that for a little while, and I've had to take a little bit of a break, because my personal stuff over the past 4 or 5 months has really started growing. But I definitely plan to continue, and eventually one day want to create a label with it, and create a mentorship program with it and all of that. So it definitely will be continued on, within the upcoming years. But for now, I've had to just kind of put it on the back burner, focus on myself, and kind of start planning for the future.
Well, that's fair. Your mental health is so important. Like, your health is so just top tier, so important. I can't even explain how important health is, especially like over this whole pandemic too. Like, we've really noticed it, because we all have taken a toll on our mental health, physical health, emotional, like everything. Like, it really affects. But that's an awesome meaning behind that. And when you finally develop the strength and you feel like it's time that you restart it, that's really good. It's awesome.
Thank you. I'm excited. It'll be good when we restart it. We'll have a lot more under our belt, and I'll have a lot more experience. So.
And now, Lyssa, before I let you go, we're gonna play a little game. I like to call it Country with Celine Rapid Fire. So I'm gonna shoot you out a couple of questions, and then you answer them, and then Okay.
I'm ready.
So the first one, I'm asking this because I'm Canadian, I'm not American, and like I would have said Tim Hortons, but I'll leave it to the Americans. So Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks?
It's really hard. I cannot answer because I'm a New Englander. I love Dunks, but Starbucks has some amazing drinks. This morning I went to Starbucks, so I'm just gonna say Starbucks.
Okay, that's fair. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs, all the way. Your favorite song to sing at karaoke?
Oh man. Probably Before He Cheats. Super classic, super typical.
Cannot go wrong with Miss Carrie Underwood. And your favorite saying?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I make up my own sayings all the time. I think my favorite like saying that I say is just like, here's the thing. Like, I always start off things with like, here's the thing. So I guess that's like my personal saying that I like to go by.
You know, that's really funny. A girl, my friend that I used to go to school with, that was her thing. She'd always used to say, like, here's the thing, here's the thing. Like, that's perfect.
Like, here's the thing. Like, I, like, add the claps in there. But, like, I'll either, like, go off on a speech or, like, a rant or something, or, like, I'll try to explain myself.
You gotta have that sass in there, like, all the time.
Yes.
And then the last one, what is your favorite TV show?
I don't watch too much TV, honestly. But I think my favorite TV show would have to be...
Or something that you binge watched on Netflix even?
Yeah, right now I'm binge watching Dance Moms.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
That's fair, I guess. That hasn't been on
that is how I am keeping the drama out of my life, but still keeping drama in my life.
Yeah, because that is packed with the drama in those shows.
Here's the thing. I can't stand drama in my own life, but I really like like focusing on someone else's. I keep my mouth shut always, but if I can focus on someone else, I'm like, I'm just gonna listen, take it, and it's funny, and it's also just so funny.
Yeah, and it's entertainment. It keeps you like occupied, like, you know what I mean?
It is. Oh, okay. I don't even know how I even missed this, but my favorite TV show is actually Friends.
Yes. Yeah.
I literally don't even know, like, I totally blanked, but like, that's so, like, Dance Moms is my binge watch, Friends is my favorite TV show.
Oh my God, and you had it on your phone too? How did that even, oh, that's funny.
I don't know, I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
Okay, who's your favorite character on Friends?
Probably Joey.
Oh, he's the best.
He is the best.
And who would you say is most like you then?
I definitely have like I don't know. I have like a little bit of like every one of them in me. It's kind of weird. Like I see myself a lot like Joey because of the food, and then Monica because like I like my things very organized, and then Rachel because I'm like a little on the bougie side, just like a little bit, and then Chandler just because Chandler's just like free flowing, and I definitely have a lot of times where I'm just like everyone just like do your thing, but I don't have Chandler's comedy, which is like the crazy part, and then Phoebe because Phoebe sings and she's into music and like all of that. Did I get all of them? Okay. Oh, Ross. I think Ross is the one I'm least like, but like the thing with the monkey like gets me every time because like I'm like that's like how I act about ducks. Like I love ducks so much, it's super random, but like I'm like that way with ducks. I love ducks. The way that he liked Marcel, I love ducks. So I guess I'll just relate to that.
Imagine having a duck as a pet. Imagine.
I would probably cry a little bit. I have some friends who have ducks as pets, and I'm like, that's literally amazing. I just don't know like what I'd do with it.
What? Yeah. What would you do with it? I would. Yeah. I don't. What would you do? I'm trying to think. I got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Well, thank you so much, Lyssa, for stopping by. I cut you with Celine and chatting with me today. Awesome. I loved meeting you, and I want to have you back on this show, like, whenever you can. Like, you're hopping on, and we're going to do the Thursday night Country with Celine, the concert series. We're going to pick a night, and we're going to do it, and then you can perform all your songs that night, okay?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Lyssa.
Sometimes I don't need no